Okay, it's Monday morning, January 15th, episode 3 of Desert Dialogue, and we are here in Kingman, Arizona. It's 8 a.m., broadcasting to 5 locations. So we're going to switch over and do a little weather, take a look at our weather cam real quick. And it is currently 32 degrees. With 72% humidity. Came in a little late to see the sunrise, but we had a good sunrise over in the left-hand quadrant there, or right-hand quadrant of the screen. Okay, let's transition back. We'll go to our camera. There we go. And there I am. How's it going? Okay, took a look at weather. We can switch back to the weather cam at any time, but let's take a look at the news too. So we're going to see what has been out there brewing since last Monday. Let's go to some world news. See what we got here. Smart binoculars that recognize birds. I don't know if that's really a whole lot of news. I don't see anything in our national capsule.news app there today. If you haven't heard about capsule.news, it's a service that pulls news from all services and correlates them. So you have the news curated for you based on what you like. Let's take a look at the Standard. What's the Standard doing, huh? The Standard newspaper is the weekly newspaper for Mojave County. So, it looks like we do have some stories going back here. January 12th, a few days ago. Let's go to state news here. That's around January 3rd about the year in clean energy, wind, solar, and batteries grow. Take a look real quick. Okay. It's talking about the growth of solar and batteries and stuff throughout the years. It's growing very quickly as it's being pushed by all countries for green energy. What else we got? January 2nd, January 1st. I don't see a whole lot in state. Community. So we do have stuff going back Starting January 12th, County Health KRMC partner in Community Health Needs Assessment Survey. Mojave County Department of Health, Public Health, and Kingman Regional Medical Center, has partnered together to conduct the 2024 Community Health Needs Assessment, a survey administered every 4 years to identify health needs and concerns. Scooble, thanks, big deal. I hope I'm saying that right. Tarek Scooble, baseball prodigy. Kingman baseball prodigy Tarek Scooble is a millionaire. The 27-year-old who grew up in Kingman, where he enjoyed success in youth and high school hardball involvements, avoided arbitration when he inked a $2.65 million deal with Detroit Tigers in January. So, local baseball player does good. These are all stories from the Standard newspaper, which is thestandardnewspaper.online. BBB Pacific Southwest awards ethical student athlete with $1,000. January 12th, Better Business Bureau serving Pacific Southwest in partnership with Arizona Interscholastic Association names Isaac Urias from Mojave High School in Bullhead City as the BBB Ethical Athlete Scholarship recipient. Another story. All these stories have been from January 12th here. Another one about beware of flood damage when buying a used vehicle. Some damage, even accident damage, is hard to tell when you're buying a used vehicle, and you never know what you're getting. Another article here, Because You Asked, on January 14th in the Standard newspaper. We have a picture there. Okay, that's Pastor Kent Simmons. And he's giving his advice for future generations. Okay, I think the next one is court news. We have court news. These go back about January 8th. Brett Reed brings folk rock to Havasu. Teen sentenced as adult in drive-by shooting. That's Lake Havasu and Bullhead. Mojave County LHCPD released names of officer-involved shooting. So that would be Lake Havasu City as well. Probation slip brings prison sentence. That's kind of a weird title, huh? Probation slip. I guess he got on probation and then went back. So look, a probation slip result in prison for one defendant charged in a child predator investigation. Oh, and sure enough, he pled guilty to violating probation. And that is failing to obtain permission before he engaged in social media communication with an adult who has a minor child. Okay, what's next? Man shot by police officer is missing, January 12th. Still hasn't been found. It's a few days ago. Okay. Kind of interesting. Questions are many, but answers are few. In the matter of police gunfire wounded Kingman man who was not charged for nearly 2 weeks and was somehow able to exit Sunrise Hospital in Las Vegas and make it back to Kingman, only to suffer medical complications to be returned to Sunrise. This story is it's about Romero, who's been in the news lately here too. Okay, what else we got here? Standard news, normal stuff. Let's run over to business and see what we got in the business news. Anything in the Kingman area? That looks like, yep, some 43 people applied for a Kingman City Manager position before the January 8th deadline. Airport improvements, TrueNAC devices approved at a council meeting. That's for Lake Havasu. Lomanco Eyes expansion at Industrial Park. That's here at our industrial park out at the Kingman Airport Industrial Park. Let's see what they have to say about that. Lomanco plans to move more than double its footprint at the Kingman Airport Industrial Park. That means more jobs. More jobs is good, right? Now we can take a look at opinion, see what we got. See an opinion for this week. Let's see a whole lot. Now let's see about public notices, legal notices. Anything in legal notices since last time? And yeah, I think we already covered all these. January 2nd is the last one, and that was Articles of Incorporation for Sunlit Solar, LLC. Which also ran, of course, in December. They have to run 3 times, I believe. Okay. And that's all I see in the standard. We can take a look at the minor and see if they have anything we can even see, but you have to pay to read the minor. Pay for our news. Exactly what we were talking about last week about advertisers and advertising companies today, marketing companies. They want you to give them a whole bunch of money to push your products online in different ways. But usually you're better doing the advertising yourself, the marketing yourself. Get better results, more directed at the customers you want. We'll show you some of that a little bit later. Okay, King Daily Miner. And we do have the same thing. They publish on Wednesday now. They're not a daily anymore. Publish on Wednesday, and all their stories are marked as January 13th. So every story is January 13th. Let's take a look at what they got. Controlled birds springs up around Mojave County. Of course, when we have the dry season, we have to burn off the brush so it doesn't cause wildfires, especially from lightning. Parking lot being built at downtown White Cliffs Trail Connector. That's nice. I don't know if we've ever showed you any White Cliffs video, but we do have video and shots of White Cliffs. Council to discuss Route 66 motel and community concerns. They're turning it into kind of like a halfway house, mini apartments. Havasu man plea hearing interrupted by outburst. Well, we probably won't be able to read that, but yeah. As usual. Okay. Back to where we were. No, back again. There we go. A Bullhead City teen pleads guilty to assault. Man sentenced for stabbing river fisherman. That's down in Bullhead City. So, stabbing each other while they're fishing. But that's about it in local news. So let's take a look at what we were talking about earlier. Marketing. So we'll switch screens here. Be a little transition. We can watch a little live weather cam. You can see the sunrise coming up over there. In fact, what is the problem here? That's why. That is why. And now you can see we're live. And we have been live with the weather camera for quite a while now, since last year. And live weather connected to our Davis weather station, you can see there. So we're going to bring up here a 90-day report. Yeah, let's take a look at this. There we go. Transition in for you. And so this is 90 days with 238,000 reach in 90 days. And this, as you can see, it's in September to December. And the year before, I think we were at 5,000 or 6,000. I could look it up, but 5,000 or 6,000 reach in that 3-month period. Now we're going to take a look at the next one. And this one is within 28 days, 227,000. Okay? This is all organic. No ads, no marketing, no partnerships. And we're going to switch here from this to 7-day. Transition that in. And here's a 7-day in December, 154,000. But it's all in how you do your marketing and promotions and where you share it and how you share it. You got to really target the customers that it might be important for. Unlike advertising before, where you would just blast out advertising. You'd spend money putting it on TV, put it on the radio, put it in newspapers, put it everywhere. You want everyone to see it. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to direct to your customer. There's so many products out there, so many services out there. You got to get your name in front of a person that sees millions of ads a day and the person who wants to buy your product. And so targeting what and where you put stuff is the most important in that. And unlike it used to be, you don't need to pay a marketing firm or an advertising firm thousands of dollars to do it for you. Even companies like Hulu and Netflix are offering $500 advertising plans. And they only show those ads to people in your area. So if your product does good showing in video, then you would want to promote that to everybody who watches Hulu in the Kingman area or Netflix in the Kingman area. Unlike commercials before, if we advertised on a Vegas station or a Phoenix station, then it would hit everybody in Phoenix, and then we would get it through translation over the mountain and get that advertising. But it's just blanket advertising. It's hitting everybody. It's not hitting who you want. But you can market through these companies only people who watch certain shows, only people who live in the Kingman area or surrounding area, only people interested in certain things. And so it's more direct to certain customers. Anyway, we'll switch back to the weather camera for now. And we'll bring up, of course, this chat here. Where we're at right now. livekingman.sowronggaming.fun/Discord. And that brings you to the Discord chat server that we have a bunch of topics on Kingman. Not a whole lot of content, but no one seems to be visiting yet. We're only in our third episode, and we're fairly new and doing live broadcasting. I think as we do more live, we'll be getting more customers. Okay, I also want to talk to you about the chef we have coming up. We have a chef coming up in February. And of course, we'll be discussing meals and stuff like that. Long-time local resident. His family still lives here, but he works up by the Grand Canyon. And so not only is Kingman a tourist town, but the Grand Canyon's really a tourist area. But when you think of tourist areas like us, there's an off-season. And in the off-season, all these businesses still have to maintain. So you still have to service your local customers. And here in Kingman or any of these areas that rely on tourism, you have to balance that, because your normal local customers are what is going to, keep the bills paid until you get the tourist customers in season. And you'll see a lot of specialty restaurants coming in that serve, even like French cuisine and stuff, and local people don't really have a lot of desire in odd foods. You have the travel people who will come in when they're tourists, but people around here are down home. They like normal stuff. And by serving French cuisine or some fancy dish, you're not as going to get as many customers in the off season as you would if you served a normal down home meal. A simple fare that most people would eat in this area. Well, and because we have a lot of influences from a lot of different cultures too, that because we're a crossroads, you get a lot of small restaurants that are only, we have a new Vietnamese restaurant I was telling you about, the noodles, the pho, pho, and the dry noodles. It was really good. And we have some other ones. We've had some India places and some other places, but we don't have a large population of those. And so the tourist traffic is what hits them most. We do have a bigger population now. What it's about 30 some thousand according to the Wikipedia or Facebook's or what you listen to. Facebook says they have we have 68,000 in this area if you include Golden Valley, White Hills, Dolan Springs, um, Hackberry, stuff like that. Then there's about 68,000, but there's no way there's that many on Facebook. Most people around here, um, most people around here are retired. I have so many people that come to me for advice that don't use a computer, don't use a cell phone, or they have a flip phone, just the basics that they need to get by. A lot of people don't have internet here, or they don't use it for anything but maybe watching streaming TV. Um, and so we have less of the population that is digitally literate. And when you look at everywhere else, they say 70% of the population is digitally literate, and 30% is the struggling part. But around here, it's probably opposite of that. I've had a hard time over the last 30, 40 years, convincing people that this digital revolution was coming and that we do need to make changes to just adapt and survive. So, speaking on that, I've noticed a lot of the traffic I get on the websites that I've done over the last 30, 40 years, on Facebook pages, on Twitter and Telegram and all the other services that I test and use, that a lot of those aren't real. They're bots, they're programs, they're spiders, crawlers that check and catalog your stuff for other people to see. So sometimes that's helpful. But it can also be hackers and scammers and people wanting to steal your stuff. I've always had stuff out there longer than anybody else, though. At least in this area, since I started in 1981, approximately, with computers. Oh, that's a glare. Okay, so let's move on from the bots and stuff and proving, where your content comes from. If you use Facebook Business for your Facebook pages and groups, which is what you should use, Facebook Business will link all your businesses and business pages and groups together and keep it organized so you can easily respond to multiple things. And of course, some of this is made for designers and people like me who have just tons and tons of stuff. But it's also made for business. If you use it, it will give you insights. And those are some of the insights that I get off the business page. It will also show you right where they're coming from. So approximately 80. Let's take a look at audience, actually. In fact, I can probably, let's transition back over to this page, and we're going to get rid of the weather cam for right now. Sorry. And we'll hop into one of these. Oh, this one's not a page. We have to go here. Where is it? That is this one. Okay. So, I'll bring the camera back up here in a minute. As soon as I pull this up. Oh, that's not a Facebook one. So we'll transition the camera. We'll add another one here real quick. Okay. And then we'll transition this over. This is what you'll see when you're using business tools from Meta when you first get started. And you can log in with your main Facebook, and that will allow you to connect everything together and make everything work together. So with that, I'm going to take a look at mine real quick. I have it up here. Oh, I thought I did. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so we can go over to some of the other insights you have. As well as insights, you also have, the people that view your page. And so if we go down to audience here, I know you can't see this, but I have 1,201 followers on Liv Kingman, and it shows me that 70% of those are from Kingman, 8.5% are from Golden Valley, 2.6 from Bullhead, 1.2 in Hackberry, 0.9 in Lake Havasu, 0.8 in Dolan Springs, and I've got a little bit of Phoenix, Meadview, Laughlin, and Tucson. Probably Phoenix and Tucson is from the American Legion guys that follow my stuff, but most of this stuff is right here local. And it also shows me, the age and gender of my followers. So my following is 76.7% women and 23.3% men. But also in this area, you'll notice that there's usually only one person on Facebook in a household, and it's the woman. The man doesn't deal with Facebook. It's keeping up with family communications and holidays and stuff, and we're just not as good at that. But around here, a lot of old school families, and that's how it goes. The woman does the communications and does the Facebook, and the guy just joins in. So it also shows country. So I do have a little bit outside the United States. 99.9% is in the United States, but I have a little bit in Canada, Vietnam, Guyana, Mexico, and the Netherlands. Okay, which a lot of those are probably going to be bots and scammers. So you can also take a look at your messaging, how you respond, how your ads do, all your plans, plan out for the next 2 weeks, all your posts. It will give you advice on how to push your tasks forward and get those weekly plans up there like I showed you. And let's see, and then results. So it actually shows you, just like we were doing there, on how good your reach is and how far you're reaching. And what do we got here? New likes and followers, ad trends, visits, and reach. And then you have, of course, a plan. And this also runs both your Facebook and Instagram because they're both Meta. And so you can run them both through business.facebook. Also, it will give you benchmarking. So I can benchmark my page against other pages. And it tells you, how your published content is compared to other sites similar to your own by category and what you pick to as businesses to watch. It shows your followers and how they're compared similar to others, or lower or higher. Your followers, how your following is going, lower or higher than other companies, and your content interaction, how well your people are interacting with your content compared to other businesses and pages. And if you go to the businesses watch tab on that benchmarking, you can add any business you can search on Facebook, you can add, unless they've opted out. And if they've opted out, they can't see the business metrics at all. So if you opt out of this part right here, no one will be able to see your business metrics, and you won't be able to see your business metrics. So, but I've used all kinds of local stuff, where I compared to newspapers, other media agencies, small businesses, county and city government. And so I can compare all those and see how they're doing compared to me and see if my content does actually affect them. And since I started this campaign 3 months ago, in September, um, to show people what you can do, I have seen a few of the businesses on my watch list go down. They're losing following. They're not gaining as much following as they were gaining before. And that happens normally. There's ups and downs in your following. But compared to all the other businesses, most of them are still gaining, still gaining, still gaining. And I'm still gaining. But my campaign has hurt a few businesses. And that's not my goal, to hurt businesses, right? We want to partner together and promote business. We don't want to hurt business. But the businesses that are being affected mostly by what we do are the bee, the minor and the minor products, and some duplicates, which is kind of weird. There's a few small businesses who have duplicate sites, and I'm sure it's because they're not using business.facebook, because then you can claim all your pages, combine them into one, and delete the ones you don't want, your groups and pages. But I have 3 from one organization, and I believe the 2 dead ones I'm actually affecting. Those ones are dropping. They're not getting any more, and some of them are already at 0, so they're not going to drop anymore. But we'll see. And we'll see how it goes for other ones. Like I said, this is only 3 months in, but it has gone amazing. It just, I want to say maybe an hour a day to reach 250,000 people. And my last numbers there at the end of the year, I was reaching 250,000 people in a month. So as you've seen, it built real quickly in December. But that is because it gathered momentum from September, October, and November. And the content you put out, because we did a lot of Christmas-based content and Halloween-based content and Thanksgiving, holiday content. We got a lot of pull from that. So, okay. Let's go on to other things. You've heard us talk about other companies like TikTok and these Chinese companies. But even though our support of those companies gives that communist regime in that country that hates us money and power to subvert us through fake Facebook campaigns, fake Facebook pages, and any other social media and even websites to convince us that their way is better, and we're paying them to do that. We're giving them money to do that. When you look at those ones, at least are legitimate and covered. We know, it's part of our trade deficit. We get credit for that. But there's other ones that are much more dangerous than what I've been talking about, these Chinese businesses. And that's a business that doesn't get tracked at all because they're selling something illegal. And so you've all heard of the dark web and things like that, I'm sure. But if you haven't, this is kind of a dark web on the normal web. And I'll see if I can find the page real quick here. But I see a lot of ads for it. And I see a lot of ads for uh, these companies on Facebook and social medias, where they're advertising you high-speed internet or, a whole bunch of channels at really cheap or free. And there's no such thing. They used to do it in satellites as well. They'd give you a hijack system, and you would pay the guy for a hijack system, so you would get all the free channels. Well, now that's gone to the internet. And so now a guy can come around to your house, install a device, and give you free channels. You pay him, and then he takes and pays a company through Bitcoin in, some German bloc or Russian bloc country. And they basically just take everything that has been fed over the internet, streamed, which is just about everything nowadays. If it's not streamed, it's broadcast to a satellite and then rebroadcast again. So anything that's broadcast, a few years ago, I want to say about 15 years ago now, the University of China developed a way to pull all those streams. And I think it was called CCTV. They were doing an app very similar that was free. But now there's companies that are actually selling this, and you'll have a guy come around to your house and put a Fire Stick on your TV and give you TV for, anywhere from $200 a year, on up. And what they're doing is they are paying this company in Yugoslavia or Russia or Germany to steal the channels and give them to you. And they pay them, less than you're paying the guy to come install it. And this is untracked money, that guy just laundered for a foreign government or a subversive foreign government that's going to use that money to try and bring us down or hurt our economy, hurt our people. And I see a lot of this trend nowadays, especially with the younger crowd. They're so open to socialism, so open to capitalism. And we're open to, worldwide. I want everybody in the world to have a good life, just like we do. But there's a lot of people out there who will do anything to take your good life away. And they'll take away everybody else's good life. And they be the only one with a good life. And that's what they want. They want all your stuff. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve anything. And you hear more and more of this type of stuff online. And in the news, you're seeing a push towards these socialistic ideas and these communistic ideas that are being promoted by foreign governments and foreign companies right on Facebook, and people just follow along. The same people just follow along with scams and get ripped off and everything. And we are trying to help and protect those people. Don't believe this stuff. Don't use something just because it's free or because it's cheap. That doesn't mean it's not being used against you. Be careful out there. Anyway, we got about 45 minutes in. We're almost 9 o'clock. We don't have any guests. We don't have any visitors or chatters on the Discord server. And we are going to, of course, check the Facebook page and the YouTube because we were there. I don't see anything on the Facebook page or the YouTube page either, so we still don't have any chatters or viewers. And I will imagine, of course, as we pick up steam and we get more and more guests and more topics, then and maybe we drag it out a little bit. Start earlier and go later, and maybe go to daily. But the news, there's not a lot of news in this area for us to really go daily at this point. But look forward to seeing us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.